Good morning, everybody. This is Rita with Restyle Renewed, and I am about to top coat this desk vanity that I'm working on. So this is the one that has the acrylic pour drawers that I showed you guys how to do. So these are the drawers that will be going in the desk here. And so I'm doing a top coat on here, so I thought I would just pop on and show you guys my secret to getting a smooth top coat. If you guys have been following me, you will already know this, so it won't be new, but I have a lot of new people on here. So normally I use anti-slone wax, and the piece back there that was waxed. So this one is about a water-based top coat, and so I'm going to show you how to get a smooth finish with no brush marks if you are interested in that. So the top coat I use the most is this one here, just because I like a matte finish, and this one I have never ever had problems with this top coat. I've been using it for years and years. This is my favorite top coat if I'm not doing wax, but sometimes people like a satin finish. So I also have this one by the same company. Modern Masters makes these great top coats. And so this one is a satin, and it's called Master Clear Supreme. So a satin is much thicker than a flat. So I always add a little pinch of water. You can kind of, well, maybe you can't see, but it is really, really thick. And so I do add a little bit of water to this, and the thicker it is, that means you have less open time, if you know what I mean. That means you don't have a lot of time to work with this, so you need to work really fast. And also something, in case you did not know this, the more sheen, the tougher the top coat is, if you know what I mean. So satin is going to be a tougher top coat than the dead flat varnish, right? So another trick, if you didn't know this, is you can do a satin top coat, and then on top of that you can do a flat top coat. So you don't have to, your 2 or 3 coats do not have to be the same sheen. You can start with this because it's tougher than this, and then your second coat and your third coat can be your flat, which is what I'm doing today. This already has satin on it, just because I need to use this up. I rarely use satin. This is my preference. I actually don't like a satin look. So I've already poured it in my bowl, and so this is the dead flat varnish, and I'm gonna spray it. If I have my water here, if I can find my water, if not, I won't spray it. But normally what I do is, I think my water is somewhere else. What I would do is I would just spray my mister bottle, and I would just spray some water into this and then give it a stir. So I don't know where it is. So let me show you the sponges as options. If you don't want to use a brush, and you will see brush marks if you are using a brush. Good morning. Hello, Helena from sunny Ireland. Here it is cloudy and rainy. I never knew you could do flat on top of satin. Yeah, there's no issues with that, just because, you know, the satin is stronger, right? So if you're worried about durability, just start with a satin, and then you can put the flat on top of it. So let me show you some good sponges, because a brush will always give you brush marks all the time. That's just the way it goes. And so I will show you. So one good sponge is, this is by Heirloom Traditions, and I'm going to show you why it's good. So, where's that blue one? Okay, so this is a regular sponge that we use in the kitchen, right? Yeah, I don't know if you can get Modern Masters there, but if you can get General Finishes, Helena, this is another good company. I think you can get there. General Finishes makes really good top coats. So this is another company I use. Try them if you can't get Modern Masters. They've got all sorts of sheens too. They've got flat, super flat, satin gloss. So I'm sure you can get this there. Okay, so sponges, you guys. So I was saying this is a fantastic sponge because can you see? You can barely see the holes. So the less holes you see, the better it is for doing a top coat, for applying your top coat. This one, this kitchen sponge, is not good because can you see it's so full of holes. And what happens is it just absorbs your top coat so much, right? So your top coat, you're going to lose a lot of your top coat just going into your sponge, which top coats are expensive. You don't want to waste top coat. So I don't recommend a sponge that has a whole bunch of holes. Find one that has tiny, 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 tiny holes. So this is a good, and you can see it actually comes huge. And what I do is it's really large. Okay, this is open. It's really large. This is too big for me. You can put your hand in it. This is too big for me to work with, so what I do is I just cut it in half. I cut it round-wise and make it smaller, and then I've cut it in half. That's what I do with those ones. So the tinier the holes, the better. And here's another, this one is just from the dollar store. So you can get a pack of sponges from the dollar store, but you do not want this green thing to be on it because that green will damage your furniture. So what I've done is I've cut off that green scrubbing thing. And so you can see this one too has tiny, tiny holes. So this one would be okay. The only problem though is because it's cheap, the green fibers are kind of sticking to this. So if you use these $1 ones, make sure you take it outside and try to get off all the lint and fibers before you use it. Car sponges, if there's a car sponge that you have that has tiny holes, that's fine too. Okay, another option is Dixie Belle does make these ones, so that's another option. Some really small holes. So what I do then is I take my sponge and I go wet it, and then I wring out all the water. And then this is the other secret, is the pantyhose. So I just buy a box of knee-highs at the grocery store, and one knee-high will last 2 applications. So I just take my knee-high. Oh, you do? Okay. Yeah, just make sure that you get off all the lint because it will damage your furniture if you don't get off that green stuff. So what I do is I take my knee-high and I cut it in half, and this will then give me 2 applications. And then I just wrap my sponge. This just helps with getting even more smoothness. Like I always try to think of, you know, what's the best way I can get smoothness. Then I wrap my sponge with a knee-high. And you're gonna kind of have to hold it so that this extra stuff isn't gonna be in your way. So there you go. It's a little bit damp, and now I'm ready to do my application on here. And like I said, normally if I could find my spritzer, I just spritz a bit of water in here. So here we go. Then you just start working, and you have to, if there's more questions, I can't see from back here. So you want to start working, and you want to work fast. Like I said, the satin, you're not going to have a lot of open time. The dead flat varnish, you will have more of an open time. So, but typically with top coats, you don't want to be doing this and then go answer your phone or go talk to somebody. It's going to be a disaster. Work on your area and get it done. Don't walk away from this. So hopefully you can see from there. I can't get really closer because I need you to see the whole desktop. So I'm going to get a good amount on my sponge. And this is going on smoother because remember, like I said, my sponge is a little bit wet. I wet it and then I wrung out the water. Now, typically I would just go ahead and do the whole top, but because I'm on camera, I'll just show you guys. This probably is what you're going to do because it might be scary to do the whole top. So then you just go and you You're going to spread it around, and then I'm going to go like this. One flow, right? I'm going to flow from one end to the other and just smooth it down. So I'm getting on a good amount. You want a good amount on your sponge, and then you just spread it around. And like, oh, I didn't tell you guys, make sure you get up all the lint from your top first. I had done that beforehand, but you know, lint is floating all around us, and it's almost impossible. So make sure your top is lint free before you do this, because otherwise your lint, your hair that's floating around is going to stick to this furniture. So I had already done that, but just make sure. And here we go. As I'm talking, there is lint coming off, probably from my hair. Normally I tie back my hair. See, I have a little bit more open time with the flat, which that's another reason why I love it. If this was satin, I wouldn't have been able to go back and do that another stroke there. Satin, you don't have a lot of open time. You've got to work fast. And trust me, you do not want to go back if you don't have open time. You're going to have a gloopy mess, and then you've got to sand it all down and start over again. So you really have to work fast, and you've got to concentrate and just get it done. So the more sheen there is, the less open time you're going to have. So right now, that's it. I can already tell that I've lost my open time back here, and it's giving me problems. So don't go back. Just wait. When it dries, you'll be able to see what it looks like. And then I just go around and do the sides, which I'll do this once I'm off camera. But it's that, you guys, it's that fast. And now there's not going to be any brush marks. So, and if you've got too much on your, if there's too much and you're wiping and you can see maybe have too much, just take your sponge and just kind of go like this and get off some of the excess. So that's something else you can do too. So that's it, you guys. It is that simple. You want to let this totally dry, and then you can go back and I do 2 to 3 coats on tops of furniture like this. Probably will get 3 coats, and the rest of the piece is going to get 2 coats. The rest of the piece, I just use a brush because I'm used to I've been using a brush for so many years, and I'm, pretty fast with the brush, and it's not as visible where your top is more visible. So it's kind of nice to use a sponge to apply your top coat. And that's it, you guys. Hopefully that helped somebody with getting a really smooth top coat. How many coats of the top coat do you need? Dorothy, I put on 3. Typically, the top of something I will put 3 coats on. The rest of the piece I only use 2 coats. Even like drawer fronts. So this is the drawer front. This is the one, the acrylic pour. So the drawer front is going to get 2 top coats. I don't put 3 on the drawer fronts, only I'll just show you real quick how fast it is on drawer fronts. If you want to use the sponge on the drawer fronts, you can. There you go. It is that fast. And then you just go down. And then I go quickly, and I always do the top of the drawer right there. And there you go. It's going to be really smooth. You will have no brush marks. If you're using a brush, you get brush marks. That's the thing. But anyways, hopefully that's helpful. And the piece back there, that was waxed. Something else too, Annie Sloan wax. Let me go grab her wax. So this is the one I usually use on furniture because it is solvent based, right? So it is really tough. Anything that is solvent based is going to be stronger than water based, right? These ones are just water based. So if you have That's why I often will use anti-slone wax. And I've got lots of free tutorials on my YouTube channel, you guys. Let me go grab this one. So something like this. So again, this is General Finishes. General Finishes, which makes this is a water-based top coat. Whoops, the camera is going. The camera needs to adjust, I think. This is a water-based top coat. So General Finishes makes fantastic stains and top coats, which this is not about that, but I wanted to show you. So this is a General Finishes stain, and this is the top coat I use for the stain. But again, this is all oil-based, right? So anything oil-based, anything solvent-based is going to be stronger than a water-based top coat. That's just the way it goes. So there you go, you guys. Hopefully that is helpful to you. And then once I'm done my application, I just take off the knee-high, the pantyhose, and I throw this away, and then I will go and wash this really well. And I do wash it down with soap. Wring it out and just place it somewhere to dry, and then you can use these sponges over and over again. This one from Heirloom Traditions is it's really high quality, very thick, so it's gonna last you years. This is the bag it came in, so it'll last you a long time. The ones that you get from the dollar store, obviously they're really cheap, they're not gonna last you very long. But again, if you buy these ones, just be really careful because they could have a lot of lint on them. So, and the Dixie Belle ones should last you a long time too. They're pretty good quality and they're really thick. So, okay, you guys, that's it. Hopefully that's helped somebody. And this is coat number 2. So I will come back in a few hours once this dries. And I'm going to do coat number 3. Something else to know, if you do what I just did. So remember this one, my first coat was satin, and then I went and did this one just now in flat for my second top coat. What I always do, I give 24 hours in between a satin and a flat. These are different sheens. So if I'm using a higher concentration one, I give 24 hours in between this one and this one, and then the coats, the first coat and the second coat, and then the second coat and the third coat, you don't need as much time. I'll just wait a few hours, and then I will put this one on for the third coat. So thank you guys. Thank you, Helena. Have a good Sunday, everybody.